Welcome back to the What's He On About podcast. I'm your host, Charlie, and today it's episode 17. And you're here for the round one, round up, and round two, round down of the Champions Trophy. Week one saw rollings, pumpings, close shaves, and some serious squeaky bum time. So stick around for today's episode. We're going to go through the team of round one, and then we're going to have the second half of the show looking at round two predictions. So that's all to come. Grab yourself a snack, make yourself comfy, and ask yourself, what is he on about? So, the team of round one. The Champions Trophy has got off to a blistering start. And where else to start than England's rolling? Opening the batting with this team of the tournament so far is Ben Duckett. 165 off 143 balls wasn't enough for England. How often do you see that? Ben Duckett's hit the biggest score in Champions Trophy history. It's 165, and they've lost. That is so unlucky for Ben Duckett. It was not enough. Australia recovered fantastically to beat England. Joe Root also added 68 with the bat, but England just they were dominated by one man. He's going to appear in this side, but I've just never seen a team put in such a good batting performance and just get single-handedly torn apart by one player. You see, I underrated this Aussie side and they just tore us apart. And it wasn't even Smith and Head who were going for it. Unbelievable stuff from Australia. But there is one man we're going to come back to in this team of the tournament. So, opening up also in this team with Ben Duckett is the South African, is Ryan Rickleton. He has made an ODI ton against Afghanistan, 103 of 106. And he's really highlighted South Africa's chances in this tournament. They look so strong. 50s as well from Van der Dussen, 50 from Aiden Markram. They are such a well-rounded side, and they've got bowlers in this lineup as well that it just makes them look so appealing and real hot candidates for this Champions Trophy tournament. I don't want to say it because they might have peaked too early, but South Africa looks so strong and a top knock from Ryan Rickleton. Now, another opener who performed, Will Young. He's going to bat three in this team of round one. He got 107 up 113. Now, this guy wasn't even meant to play in the tournament. Rachin Ravindra struck a blow on the face with a cricket ball and was knocked out of this team, quite literally. And Will Young has taken his opportunity and he's ruined Pakistan's party. Pakistan were meant to, open up the Champions Trophy that they're hosting with a lovely little win against New Zealand, and 50s from Babar Azam and Kush Dill couldn't quite save Pakistan. Young's ton just really did it for New Zealand, and there's another New Zealand player who played what I thought was to be the knock of round one until Inglis. Oh, there's his name. I accidentally said it. Inglis tore apart England, but Will Young, terrific knock, really helped out New Zealand early doors. Now, again, another opener, Shubman Gill. This guy's in the form of his life. He took India to a cruising win over Bangladesh, 101 not out of 129 balls. In Shubman Gill's last four innings, he's hit 250s and 200s. Jeepers, like how on earth do you reach that kind of level of form that this guy just is incapable of scoring below 50? Shubman Gill is a top player, and India stormed to a six-wicket victory over Bangladesh. And the Bangladesh batting innings was circled around one player, but we're going to come back to him because that was a heroic knock. Now, we've mentioned him already. In at number 5, the Englishman, Josh Inglis. Well, he was English until about 14 years old, where he steamed off to Australia. But Josh Inglis, he hit 120 not out of 86 balls. Now, this is probably one of the greatest innings I've seen live. And I've never seen a man just make a chase of this magnitude look so straightforward. Even when he was batting with Alex Carey, Josh English, he just it looked like it was a one-man show. And he just tore apart all our bowlers. Bryden Cast got pumped. Jofra Archer, after dropping Alex Carey, came on to bowl against Inglis and got knocked for 8 in the next two balls. Jofra had a tough day. Bryden Cast had a tough day. But Josh Inglis was just he just hit the knock of his life, the knock of my life as well. And nothing more needs to be said about Australia because he dominated us. Josh Inglis absolutely dominated us. Now, in at number 6 for this team of the tournament so far, haven't quite worked out what to call this team. I'm going to call it the team of round one. Good to come up with a name, only 6 names in. But anyway, Tom Latham. Now, this guy came in for New Zealand against who did New Zealand play? Pakistan. That's the one. And Tom Latham came in with 22 overs to go, and he knocked 118 off 104 balls. Unbelievable. He came in halfway through the 38th over and he decides to go and knock a ton. And he provides New Zealand with this unchaseable 320, which Pakistan could never quite get rolling to. And Tom Latham's knock there just capitulates. Tom Latham's knock just highlights how important that middle order is. If you can come in those mid 30 overs range and you can hit a big knock, Tom Latham just is your man. Unbelievable stuff. If you can come in the middle order and just tear apart a team, it puts the game out of their sights. And that's exactly what Tom Latham did, and Pakistan couldn't get close. Now, number 7, one of my favourite knocks of the tournament so far. It's from Tawid Huridoy from Bangladesh. This guy was cramping up. The 12th man had to come on and almost put out a stretcher. He was stretching out his legs every 5 balls. And Hridoy hits a ton of 118 balls. He gave Bangladesh the chance to beat India, the chance. Absolutely beautiful stuff. And for a nation that aren't really, much contenders for this tournament, but Hridoy really, really gave it his best shot to put Bangladesh in with a chance of beating India. And what a sight it was to see. Bangladesh fans getting behind him, the players really getting behind him. And unfortunately, it wasn't enough because India absolutely dominated him, partly thanks to the next 2 players on this list. But that was great to see Bangladesh putting up a fight, and I don't think there'll be a pushover. I wouldn't be surprised if they get a result against New Zealand or Pakistan, especially if Pakistan face Bangladesh in that final game if they've lost both already, and it's a pointless game. I could see Bangladesh getting a point off them. But in at number 8, we're into the bowlers. Harshit Rana. I think he bowled terrifically. He bowled 8 overs, 3 for 31 against Bangladesh. Him and the next person tore apart Bangladesh's top order. They really just couldn't get going because of these 2 blokes. And if it wasn't for Ridoy, it would have been an absolute demolition. Now, number 9, Harshit Rana's opening partner, Mohammed Shami. This guy, he's got the figures of the Champions Trophy so far with his 5 for 53 off 10 overs, and it's his true return to international cricket. He's been out injured for a while, didn't get to play in the Border Gavaskar Trophy, but Mohammed Shami is back, and he's back with vengeance. This bloke tore through Bangladesh, and they really had no chance when Shami was on this kind of heat. But talking about heat and pace, at number 10, it's Kagiso Rabada. He bowled 8.3 overs, 3 wickets for 36 runs. He went at 4.2 per over. He's part of this terrific South Africa bowling attack. I mean, Mulder took wickets, Ngidi took wickets, Marco Jansen took wickets, Maharaj. These guys look terrific. And it just highlights how well-rounded this South African team is. But Kagiso Rabada, the pick of those bowlers for me, and it just prevented Afghanistan from starting any kind of run chase, any at all. And finally, to end off this list with figures of 3 for 47 from 9 overs, he was part of the reason why Pakistan could never quite chase down New Zealand's score. It's Will O'Rourke. This guy, he's burst onto the scene recently, and he is just a terrific young bowler. He's so tall, gets so much bounce, and to be honest, I didn't know how he'd fare out in these Pakistani flat conditions, but he's dominated. Those figures have been top quality, and Santner and Matt Henry also joining the party, ruining Pakistan's party. So there is your team of round one. The What's He On About team of round one. That's going to be out on all platforms. Check it out on TikTok and all the various social media platforms we are on here. But now, moving on to the second half of the show, we're going to predict and preview each game of round two. The round two round down begins now. First game on Sunday. Tomorrow for me, could be today, could be yesterday, doesn't matter. Pakistan versus India. Now, first point. It's a big game for big players. I can see a humongous knock from one of Rizwan, Babar Azam, Kohli, and Rohit Sharma. One of those four batters I can see putting in a mammoth knock. I wouldn't be surprised if it's the end of Shubman Gill's golden run, but it's a big game for big heroes. And I really can see one of those big names seriously putting in a shift. Wouldn't be surprised if it's Virat, but I also wouldn't be surprised if he gets another low score. Now, the neutral venue has provided a heck of a lot of controversy across the social media platforms. I've had debates in my comments that I've tried to stay out of, surrounding the politics of this decision for India to play all their games in Dubai rather than travelling to the host nation of Pakistan. But that all is adding to the drama, isn't it? Pakistan versus India, one of the great games. They haven't played in ODIs for the last 2 years since the World Cup. And this neutral venue is adding to it, giving a bit of spice if there wasn't spice already. And it's just going to be interesting playing in this neutral venue. I don't know who it suits, probably Pakistan, considering they've played a lot of cricket there over recent years. But it's going to be interesting. India already played a game there. They know how it plays. They know how the game works in Dubai now. But it's going to be interesting. Now, Pakistan haven't beaten India in ODIs since the 2017 Champions Trophy final. 8 years. They've meant to have played 6 games since then, and India have won all but one, which was a no result. So Pakistan will be desperate in this hosting Champions Trophy, although technically they're not really hosting in this game. It's going to feel like it, and Pakistan really are going to be desperate to roll through the Indians. A little dive into what each team might be thinking. Pakistan, it's a must win. No doubts, must win. They lost the first game to New Zealand, and if they don't come out with a win in India, they are going to be out of this tournament, which they're hosting. The pressure will be humongous on Pakistan, and it's a must win for them. But equally, for India, I know they won their first game against Bangladesh, but they don't want to be going into that final game against New Zealand with a must win. So, India, I think, are also looking at this Pakistan game saying this is likely to be easier than New Zealand, so we've got to win this one. That's what India might be thinking, and that's why they can't lose this. They can't afford to lose against Pakistan, India. And they're going to know that. There's going to be a heck of a lot of pressure on them as well. What a game this is going to turn out to be. Make sure to tune in tomorrow because that is going to be classic. My prediction is now. Pakistan win by 2 wickets or 20 runs. I think it's going to be an absolute blinder of a game, and I think it's going to go down to the wire. But I foresee Pakistan reaching the second round, the semis, and that's why Pakistan are going to win because they have to win. India lose to Pakistan. Now, the other game in Group A, Bangladesh take on New Zealand. Now, I can hardly see New Zealand losing this game. I don't think anyone can. New Zealand look too good a team. They are still going under the radar despite beating the hosts. Not many people are talking about them. You got more people talking about the likes of South Africa, the likes of Australia now. New Zealand are going beautifully under the radar. And Bangladesh won't be a pushover. I think Mushfiq could get some runs in this game. But I think it's New Zealand's chance to all but confirm qualification, and I just can't see Bangladesh winning. Can't see it. What I can see is Kane Williamson putting in a big knock. I can see the number three for New Zealand, especially if they bat first, putting in a humongous knock. But I worry for Bangladesh, especially if they bat first. I seriously worry that they will not be able to win this. So I see New Zealand winning by 6 wickets or 150 runs, one of the like, and I think they're going to win big. That is the end of Group A. Australia take on South Africa. Now, I think this is going to be one of the games of the tournament. I mean, we've seen both the first 2 games of Group B. Australia and South Africa both tear away winners of those games. And now they're facing off. Both teams have had electric starts, but I think the difference is going to be the bowling. Both teams are great batting lineups. South Africa, Rickelton 100, Markram and Van der Dusen 50s. Australia, Inglis 100, Carey 50, and Labuschagne, I think, got very close to 50. It was a good knock from Labuschagne. Batting's very similar. Yes, Head and Smith are yet to kick off, but I do really think the batting's going to be pretty even because I think we could see Clarkson back in for South Africa. Now, the difference will be the bowling. I think South Africa, as we saw in the team of the tournament, looks such a great bowling attack. I mean, Rabada looks on fire. Jansen's a quality bowler. Mulder's a great bowler. And then we've got Ngidi and Maharaj. These guys are terrific and so talented at what they do. And then you look at the Australian bowling lineup, and then you're worried, they're getting carried by the likes of Nathan Ellis and Adam Zampa. I mean, Nathan Ellis isn't exactly heaped in experience. And then you've got the likes of Spencer Johnson and people like that who just aren't that experienced in international cricket. And I worry for Australia that that might be the difference, the bowling. And that is why I foresee South Africa winning this game and topping the group. It's going to be a wicket win for South Africa or an 80-run win. Either way, South Africa are winning, and they're winning pretty easily. That's that fixture. And then finally, to end off the episode, England versus Afghanistan. It's a must win for both these teams there to get through. And I can tell you, I can see both teams going through. So this makes this game so big. It's going to be a tricky game for England. And it's not short of controversy as well. There was talk of England boycotting this game at the start of the tournament, but England are playing. So there's controversy there, and I think it's going to be tricky. England have had challenges against spinners, but in response to that, Afghanistan's hyped up spinners, these T20 spinners, look to be only really for the T20 game. I might have said that now, and they might both take fifers, but I do think these Afghanistani spinners are more suited to that fearless T20 style of cricket than having to bowl 10 overs where batters can slowly work them over and dominate on the bad balls. So that's what I foresee happening. And I can see England taking a win by 3 wickets or 40 runs. I think it's going to be a close game. Afghanistan are going to take it down to the wire, but I do think England are the better side and deserve to win. So there's my predictions for round two. That's the round two round down and the round one round up. Next podcast will be out on Wednesday evening. So follow the podcast. Make sure you're there for the round two round up and round three round down. That's going to come on Wednesday evening. Make sure to leave a good review. And this week, I hope it got answered of what was he on. Cheers.